You are listening to DC On Screen.
Hey, welcome back into DC On Screen. We're coming back pretty soon after the last episode dropped.
Moments.
That's Superman and Lois. And now we're going to talk about the Penguin?
Mm-hmm.
God. I mean, we're late, but, you know, then we all just like, we come all at once, you know?
Yeah. And with
gusto.
Wide range of tones.
Yeah, a little bit.
While we're
I mean, you say that, but I mean, Superman and Lois ended pretty dark.
I think comparatively light.
I mean, lighter than this. Jesus Christ. Oh, yeah. The Penguin.
How'd you like yourself? How'd you find it?
Okay, so it's a dense show.
Mm-hmm.
I had a little bit of trouble getting through it initially. I'd say like the first half of the show, the first 4 episodes, it was a bit of a slog for me. And it wasn't like that I thought it was bad in any way. It was just that it was like super, super slow and super dense. And, you know, I couldn't understand what about half of the people were saying, so I had to put on subtitles.
Oh, I was doing okay with that. I didn't have a problem.
Really?
Yeah.
It just might be me. Like, I don't know what it is. Like, there's certain ADHD things, apparently, where you have to put on subtitles because you're something. I don't even know. I've read that.
Yeah. I occasionally just miss stuff and have to turn them on to catch things that, like, I'll go back and listen 5-6 times. I don't understand and have to. And then when I read it, go, oh, and feel like an idiot. But,
yeah.
I don't have a documented record or like some pattern I can identify.
Right.
Just have moments of stupidity.
Well, like for like shows like this, to me, it's like they'll have like an ominous tone going, mm-hmm. and it'll be at like a certain frequency to where I'm like, I can't hear this and hear them whispering at each other.
I see. Yeah.
Like they're being like threatening.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I don't know what you're saying, Oz.
I'm having trouble hearing the sparrow with laryngitis while the subwoofer, has existential identity crises at the same time.
All right. I get that Clancy Brown is angry. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what the fuck you're saying.
He looks angry. Even for Clancy Brown, he looks angry.
All right. So, right out of the gate,
by the way, my metaphor for this would be an over-toasted sandwich. It just real hard to sink your teeth into. You have to fight at the first.
Yeah. So I'm not going to say that any of this was like, by the way, as far as the sound mix goes, I'm not talking about, Nolan levels of bad or anything. And it's not even really bad.
It's talking intentional chaos, it seems.
Also, I have just a normal TV. I don't have the fucking sound bar and the woofers and all that. I don't understand all that shit, and I don't have it. So I just have like the normal speakers on my normal TV.
I agree. And sometimes I've wondered how much that's a problem. I've just had moments.
For me or in general?
No, for me too. I mean, I have the same situation where I just sometimes something sounds so weird that I'm like, man, I really wish I could compare that to another set and see if it's just my, lame ass basic bitch fucking TV speakers that are the problem here.
Yeah. But, I do wonder.
Que sera.
Right out of the gate though, first episode, the thing that got me super into it was, but also super bummed out. I love Michael Zegan.
Mm-hmm.
And he did, like, right away.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he comes in, he shits on Oz, and Oz just kills him.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like, oh, man. But that was so cool. But, oh, man.
Yeah.
Like, this is going to be fun. Damn it.
Yeah, I know what you mean, though, because I thought, oh, that is a really cool character setup. I wish it had not been that actor that sacrificed to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Could have done with a few more scenes with that guy.
Yeah, which we did get a couple more scenes with him, but really just a couple. But that's okay because Kristen Milioti was amazing enough for both of them.
Yeah. Could have carried the show by herself if she had to. Definitely did not have to with, well, I mean, in a lot of ways, but with, I think everyone, let me put it this way, with all the genuinely amazing performances I just watched, I don't think anyone there fell short of that, but damn, her character and what she did with it, fuck, man.
I'll say this, okay? If there was a weak link in this show, and there isn't, but if there was, it's got to be Theo Rossi as Julian Rush, Dr. Julian Rush. And I say that not because he was bad, but only because this guy plays the same fucking character. It doesn't matter what the character's profession is. It doesn't matter what he's doing there. He acts the same. He just plays this, I guess him. I guess that's who he is.
You talking about
he
Shades?
played, yes, Shades. Yeah. He fucking plays Shades and everything.
It took me a minute to play Shades.
Like, as I'm watching it, I'm like, okay, Rush's relationship to Sophia is exactly his fucking relationship with Black Mariah. I'm like, this is like, he's just the same character in everything I've seen him in. Like, every time I see him, he's doing the same thing. I'm not like, really, I mean, if you're going to have that character, he's the guy to go to.
No, I mean, you may be right about it. I'm trying to remember enough about Shades to, I don't remember enough about any arc in that show, really.
Racist.
I remember Luke Cage's arc, but that's really about it. The subplots are gone now.
You know what I remember about Luke Cage is
that finish is more than 2/3 of the show on that channel.
I was really sad about what happened to the barbershop.
Yeah.
And his buddy, the barber there. Mm-hmm. And I was really like, the fucking Black Mariah burning the man alive haunts me still. Like, seriously.
Yeah. I had done a good job of forgetting that until now.
Seriously, still I still hear the screams. Yeah. It's still like it still really actually fucks me up sometimes. Like, I think about it sometimes. It's not good. It's not good. Like, that show scarred me in a weird ass way.
That is strange. I think more about the pruning the finger than I do that.
Like, dude, like, seriously, like, when badass scene when Penguin decides to burn the Maronis.
Yeah. Yeah.
I totally had a flashback, and so did my wife. Like, we were both like, no, not this again. Like, this was like, and it wasn't nearly as bad. My
flashback is, I never watched The Americans, but I wandered through a scene. And I wandered through a few scenes, in the living room in the passing kind of thing. And, one of them was, I just stood in the living room and because they like put a tire over a guy and light it. And, oh. So this show goes real bad. She's like, yeah, it's pretty rough. I'm like, okay. Yeah, no, that's rough. I mean, that one got me in a weird way.
I can't imagine your wife being able to watch that.
Yeah, it was weird.
Just the way you said it is like, yeah, it was fucked up, but she was really into it.
Yeah, no, I mean, she wasn't. I don't think even then she was. She just had a higher tolerance level then.
Like, did she just completely dissociate? Like,
probably.
Oh my god,
probably. It was largely going to be a background activity.
But I'll tell you this: like, the difference between, I think the difference for me, aside, like, I will say this about the sound mix here. The screams from the Maronis, for one thing, was not nearly as horrifying as what happened on Luke Cage. Mm-hmm. But also, it's occurred to me that, like, the Maronis are sacks of shit. They're fucking awful people. They deserve to burn. And that poor man on Luke Cage deserved nothing. He was a good man who just wouldn't kowtow to Mariah's horse shit. And he burned painfully for it. That was the difference.
He did. We may have to repackage your trauma for a minute.
Yeah.
If at all possible.
I mean, hey man, that's part of my viewing experience. You want to know what I thought of the Penguin? We're going to have to talk about that. But you know what I loved about that scene with Penguin burning the Maronis? Mm-hmm. I love that they, like, more than focusing on watching them burn, they focused on Oz and his face when he watched them burn. Yeah, he could see the fire dancing in his eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that motherfucker was enjoying it.
Mm-hmm.
And he didn't look away.
No, he studied it. Like, you could almost hear him counting the seconds, like out of curiosity.
I should have known then, and I was disappointed with myself that I didn't clock it beforehand. I never thought, like, oh yeah, he killed his brothers. I thought, legitimately, his brothers, like, you know, got into some bad shit and wound up dying at some point.
No, until they were ready. I forget how they unveil it in the show, but until they unveiled it in the show, I hadn't caught on either. I didn't catch any with any foreshadowing or anticipate it.
Yeah.
That one caught me, and it was interesting though. I thought first and second half of the show in general, they made him likable in the first half and took that away in the second.
Yeah.
And like,
they took it away hard.
Yeah, like revealing that the brothers were his fault was the first part of, okay, all right, you liked him enough to stay invested, right? All right.
Uh-huh.
Hang in there, buddy.
And it wasn't even like, because I wondered if the brothers were going to be his fault on some level. Like, he fucked up somewhere along the way and they died because of it. And he was like keeping that from his mom.
And then like, that she was in on it too, though. The show I never caught if it's there. I just missed it. I just never caught that the show was winking at her knowing anything like that. She had his back on the story. Yeah,
except he didn't know that she knew.
He didn't know any of that. But anytime she talks about them in the show, I mean, before they reveal that episode and a couple like anytime before that, they kind of when she talks about him, she just kind of talks about when they died. Like, yeah, she's completely just decided to bottle that part of her experience for now.
Yeah, and my God, okay. So even in the episode, I was like, maybe it's because I'm still like, even watching like Creature Commandos, I'm still going like, oh, they did that.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm still like. My expectations are set firmly on CW network shit.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, when I'm watching Penguin, it doesn't matter that I've heard them say fuck like 25 times.
Yeah.
When I'm like watching young Penguin running around and playing hide or seek with his brothers, I'm like, oh, he's going to do something stupid and not mean to kill them.
Yeah, you thought it's going to be a flub somehow.
And then he's going to spend the rest of his life trying to make it up to his mother.
Yeah, the mislead, and there's a cop just around the corner that's going to stop it somehow. No.
But like, just the psychotic face as he's like happily watching a movie with his mother, knowing that his brothers are trapped.
And never coming home.
And as he's like, there's that scene where he's like watching, like, what is it, Fred Astaire, like, brap, 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 to the dancers, shooting them down one by one, and he's just like smirking, like, I like that. Jesus.
Yeah, to go in and just enjoy a movie after that. And it was really striking how what they seemed to have done in that moment to piss him off just wasn't worth that. It seemed like they wanted him to come down and maybe possibly prank him by getting a little bit wet. And he was like, yeah, like, was it anything more serious than that?
He was already glaring at them because they were like taking time away from his mom.
Yeah, it was
all that shit.
It was clearly a problem overall. But they don't make it about some big experience and he has any kind of. There are no mitigating factors. They were doing nothing. That deserved that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's something that the show used to great effect as far as Penguin's motivation. It was like she finally gets it out of him. Like, she finally understands when she's interrogating him. Hell, his mom screams it at him in that last scene. It's my fucking finger or something like that. She says it out loud. She says the thing that you're supposed to learn about him in the course of the show so far. You really don't care about anything but yourself.
Yeah.
Like, you see how much you can actually be a selfish, twisted motherfucker and affect the people around you when you really get to see this show. Like, because it looks so much like he actually gives a shit about the people around him, right? At times.
It does. There are
moments.
And I feel like it was when I saw the episode of him as a kid killing his brothers that I truly went, oh, Victor's going to die.
Yeah.
And he's going to be the one that does it.
You could almost poll the viewers of the show. Hey, when did you think it was going to happen? Let's put it this way. I didn't know it was going to be time because this is, I didn't know what they were going to do to the universe time-wise. Victor could have stayed around for a while. We could have done a lot of things.
Yeah.
He didn't have to die right now in the show.
Right.
Yeah, I knew in the scene when they were talking outside and he kind of squeezes in and they're about to do it. Like when he was about to do it, my heart rate went up for a second because it had that effect on me. Because you didn't really want to see him go. And the way you knew he was about to do it too was just, the whole thing was, it was hard to watch. And those gas, the begging, man, rough. Great TV. But, I knew they had to square it at least that Victor knew so much about his mom. Like that, you knew they had to do something.
Mm-hmm.
I just knew it would be squared. I didn't know if it would be, they could have just squared it with that being the thing that makes them equals is that they do have something on each other at least. Yeah. I brought you up from nothing, but you know about my deepest secret. Something like that. Yeah. No, just killed him. Just can't take you with me on this one.
Sucks. All right. So.
And then just, and the coldness of just stripping his ID and tossing him in the water.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't know how long this really takes in the real world. Because I know the implication there is that he may actually not be identified, or if he does, it'll be forever. Like not even give that family you'd heard about in his little personalization stories that you shared together as any fucking closure.
Well, he doesn't have any family. They're all dead.
All of them? I thought he had like a little bit.
No, he had that one girl who he was dating, and then he didn't meet up with her at the bus stop to leave town. He was supposed to leave town, and he decided he was going to stay and be somebody.
See, I remember that choice, but I thought he had a little bit of town. Family left in town. Oh, well.
No. She was it. His family was killed when that wave hit their apartment.
So he just killed a nobody who knew nobody.
Yeah. He done.
Yep.
It would have been like her and Squid. He killed Squid.
Yeah.
Which, fantastic scene. And I was happy to see Squid go. That guy was a piece of shit.
Oh, yeah. Had to happen.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I feel like we could do like trade favorite scenes for a minute almost, but
we could.
Because there were some fucking bangers in this thing. Pulling in another Nirvana hit for lighting the castle on fire.
Oh, what was that one?
I cannot remember off the top.
Where did you sleep last night? But it wasn't. It's not. It's their song.
It's a Sun House, I think, originally. Or Red House?
No,
Red
it's
Sun?
Lead Belly.
Lead Belly?
It's Lead Belly. That's why I wasn't clocking it when you said it. I was like, what?
Yeah.
Where was Nirvana?
I see what you mean.
Because it was very specifically not their version of it from Unplugged.
Yeah. That's what you mean.
Creepy ass song. Yeah, that was a great one.
Good cover. The thing I loved about the scene was more that you got to wonder what level of power you have to be at where your henchmen just have to let you have silly moments like that.
Expound. What do you mean?
Well, like, she's just sort of inside setting fire to things, right? But she has people outside, I believe, in like the driveway, doesn't she?
I don't know. Maybe. At a certain point, though, like this bitch killed her whole family with gas.
Sure. Well, that's actually...
You just don't cross her.
Oh, I know. Yeah.
She shot Johnny Vitti in front of all of the crime bosses for not agreeing with her. Let's just... maybe you let her burn the house.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't have stopped her by any stretch.
No.
I just thought she had people around.
Probably.
She did. But yeah, it struck me as like overly dramatic to go in there and have a moment to yourself like that. But like, yeah, I mean, but that's the thing. Who's going to stop her? I mean, you first, Shit.
Yeah. Miliata did. Oh my God. She did such a good job.
No, incredible.
She was like, to me, she was the star of the show. Colin, maybe the shine had worn off a little. As we've already seen him in the Penguin, in the Batman, playing this role. Kristen Milioti, I know she could do drama. I've seen her do drama, but I've seen her do comedy. I've seen her do drama. She's flawless. But I had not seen quite this depth. And, I feel sorry for her. She's so vulnerable, but then she's just so savage.
Yeah.
So brutal. So just merciless.
Yeah. And the story they built around that, or however it came together, that she did that so well and the story hit it so well. There's a perfect fit, though. They, especially that kind of inaugural scene, having to kill the other inmate.
Yeah.
Absolutely brutal. And I mean, shit. Yeah, you can. It's meant to be a passage, and you can see from the rest of her acting in that, like in the series, like it just there's just a little bit of innocence that's just never there again.
Yeah,
and they do a really good job with the brother in those flashbacks of him just being like the one fucking thing that was left that saw that innocence.
Recently, a new client called me and started by saying, "Mr. Morgan, I really need your help, but I'm just a nobody." Those words stunned me, and I immediately called him back, and we're now helping him and his family after a terrible accident. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Everybody who comes to our firm at their time of need is a somebody. I grew up poor, but my grandmother was like a queen to us. At Morgan & Morgan, our goal is to level the playing field for you and your family at your time of need. The insurance company has unlimited money and resources. You need a firm who can fight them toe-to-toe. For right at 30 years, we have fought them in courtrooms throughout America. Our results speak for themselves. And always remember this, everybody is a somebody, and nobody is a nobody. Visit forthepeople.com to learn about our firm, Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
Injured? Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
The whole time I'm I think more than anything Oz did, I was angry with him for betraying her. Like, I was mad that he betrayed her back in the day. I was mad that he was the reason that she went to Arkham.
Mm-hmm.
I was mad that he still betrayed her. It was just like one after the other. I was just like, you piece of shit.
Yeah.
As I just have a soft spot for that actress.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna like her no matter what she does. She's just really good. It's not even like it's legitimately not even like a hey, she's hot and I want to bone her kind of thing. Like, it's not a crush. It's just she's awesome. I just like she's always like got this vulnerability and this humanity to her performances that even when she is just like super diabolical, you're sitting there going like, yeah, but I get it.
Well, speaking of like that last car ride with her and Oz.
Yeah.
Fucking love the dialogue.
Oh God.
I mean, yeah, him trying to play the, you never saw it from the underdogs card and, just kind of scoffing at him. You think I never, like, yeah. Very real kind of conversation. Loved him being the driver, getting around back on it. But that vulnerability there again. And they did a really good job with that, that suspenseful moment that we see over and over again about, are they going to shoot her?
Uh-huh.
Great moment with it.
Oh yeah. But the worst thing that could happen to her is go back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, that's what I remember thinking as she's being dragged back, that's what I was thinking, is how much I would be thinking in that moment, I wish she had shot me.
Uh-huh.
Like, and the poor thing, she was ready. Like, in the scene, you see her, she's ready. Yeah, I would have been pissed.
So,
officer, I'll give you good money to drive this thing off the side of a cliff on the way back to the... Then I just got to collect the money.
Okay, I have questions for you.
Mm-hmm.
First of all, where do you see this going with Sophia in future installments? Whether it be the Penguin season 2 or the Batman 2 or what? Because I was curious. I had a couple of thoughts. Like, she had very specific scarring on her shoulder that made me wonder if they were setting up Red Claw from the animated series, or setting her up as a version of that character. Or I just thought, they could just be doing a reference to the claw marks on her face from the comics, from her kerfuffle with the Catwoman.
Yeah, I mean, I would have suspected that one. It's just easier to get to. I mean, if anything, I know it's not.
Well, the funny thing is, like, Red Claw comes from the animated series, and in those episodes, she's up against Catwoman and Batman.
Yeah,
isn't she? So, am I just remembering that wrong?
I thought you were, but that's been a while too.
You thought I was remembering it wrong?
No, it's been a while. No, I thought you had it right, but
okay.
It's been like
the Cat and the Claw
8 years since I fucking watched that series. I think.
Yeah, like Red Claw has that like the Red Claw tattoo on her shoulder, right where Sophia has that scarring.
Mm-hmm.
So I did wonder, and we were setting up something with her and Selena. But either way, we're setting up something with her and Selena. Selena's the one that scratched her face in the comic.
Yeah.
So,
blood has been shed either way.
Also, I'm not wrong. I'm looking at stills, and yeah, Catwoman's right there. All right. There was some kind of altercation with Catwoman and Red Claw. I
remember a bitch cutter.
Yes, and again, I'm giving Matt Reeves some leeway and going like, look, I don't think this is a James Gunn situation. This is he just like, people are like, where's Batman Part 2?
Yeah,
you just saw it.
Yeah,
it was called The Penguin.
Yeah,
he was doing this for Batman Part 2 or a big chunk of this. And Casey Bloys said, I want to make that into a show. And he was like, okay. So then they made a show, an 8-part show, which, by the way, a little long. I could have done this in 4 episodes.
No, I enjoyed it.
Maybe 5.
I thought it was a thick sandwich, but I enjoyed it. I just needed some time to eat everything.
Yeah, I get you.
I don't know. I mean, that being said, though, like, it's kind of the Penguin verse until you get a couple other Batman movies. Mm-hmm. The Pingy verse.
Yeah. I love Sophia killing her family with gas.
Yes. Lovely.
And I loved her saving the kid. Of course, she is the kid.
Yeah, of course.
So she's saving herself. She's saving a version of herself.
Yeah. She
feels.
And of course, that one well-intended thread comes back to bite her later, I believe.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. But I think Matt Reeves had to go back and figure out how to put Sophia into Batman Part 2. after figuring out like what he was going to do, he kind of went back and went, shit, she's a really great character. Jeez. Okay.
Poor guy.
And of course we want to see her with Catwoman.
Yeah.
They're sisters, for Christ's sake. We got to do that. Also, Selena is going to be, if she's Selena already knows that Carmine was the one that killed all those women.
Mm-hmm.
So of course she would reach out to Sophia, the supposed hangman.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I want more. I just want more. Like, I want to see that relationship.
This actually would be a fun. This would be a fun trick that would work at least one more time if Reeves announced tomorrow. Actually, bad news. We're not going to do Batman 2. We are going to have a Catwoman series. You could probably get away with we're going to do a series instead, and then that's really going to be Batman 2. And then what you're going to see that's going to be Batman 2 is actually going to be Batman 4. Like, at least one more time.
Yeah. Yeah. Did you see where someone was like, okay, talking to James Gunn, said, you said that you haven't received a draft of the Batman Part 2 from Matt Reeves, but 3 months ago, Matt Reeves said that he turned in chunks of his script to DC. And James Gunn was like, you've answered your own question? Both of those things are true. Yeah, he turned in chunks of the script to DC, but James said he hasn't seen a draft of it.
Right.
Yeah, he hasn't seen a full draft of the Batman Part 2.
We are teetering on me starting to worry about this movie in a way, but just only because I've been scarred sometimes.
I mean, I've been scarred, but I don't think... I mean, we just got the Penguin. I'm not sitting here going like, oh man, they've just been letting it linger for all these years. No, they just put out a critically acclaimed fucking series, like critically acclaimed, audience acclaimed. No one has a bad thing to say about it. 8-episode crime
Banger of a
masterpiece.
Yeah, I know,
Like-
but there's hesitation, and like I've been hurt before, so sometimes I flinch.
I mean, you know, I'm antsy with my ADHD bullshit, and kind of went, I could do this in 4.
Yeah.
That's my only note as far as negativity, because I'm sitting here trying to watch this show and like stimming the whole time, fucking like rocking back and forth, like going like just a few more minutes,
Yeah.
then you can get up and go do something.
You're over there
Okay.
counting 5 things you can see and getting through the episode. 4 things I can hear. Oz. I can hear Victor for now.
Yeah, I wouldn't go that far with it, but you know, my leg is shaking.
Mhm.
You know, I'm twitching the leg. But yeah, no, I mean, it's a great show.
I don't know that I would or could have done it in 4 and in half, like you're suggesting necessarily. I don't think I would have hated that either, though, altogether. But if anything, I struggled because like it took me 3 tries to watch the first episode. Not due to lack of quality. It just every time I sat down to watch it, I was
Yeah.
like, oh, this is going to require a real investment emotionally.
Yeah,
I'm going to have to blank space a little bit to really actually view this. And
it's a real thing.
you do. I have to try it. Or if I don't do that, I know I'm ruining it as I'm doing it. It's a bad thing. I'm going to be
No, I
angry.
totally get
I'm
it.
going to angry watch this show anyway. Yeah. I'm picky about everything and fucking ruin it for myself. This is bullshit. Fucking hate it.
Yeah.
I was looking forward
Yeah.
to this. It was a bad decision, Jason. Good job, buddy.
And then I've got to be like, well, what do I have on
Wow.
hand to eat? I can't eat this because I know they're going to get gruesome, and I can't eat this because I know I'm not going to. Like so many things have to like line up sometimes for me.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, this show in particular, it's kind of dark. Like, if I got, it is a hard time to find a good vibe for in a way. Cause like if I get pissed off at something that day, I maybe don't want to go back and revisit that feeling right then. And then if I'm having too good of a day, then like, I don't want to go down that road for a whole hour tonight.
Yeah.
That's,
Yeah. But you know
I'm gonna
what?
watch
I was
people
like,
die.
dude, I got to get through this. I got to really get invested in this and make sure that I can enjoy this show before the seasonal depression kicks in.
True. Yeah.
It's getting colder. I need to go ahead and rip through this one.
Yeah. Go ahead and watch the penguin before you have to become one. Sacking yourself with outer layers.
Jesus Christ. Okay. So did you guess where it was going with Eve Carlo? With his mistress, Penguin's mistress? Did you know that she was going to be pretending to be his mom by the end of this thing?
No, outright no. But what was your interpretation of that last scene? What do you think you saw? Because I've thought about it a couple different ways.
Okay, so she's wearing. First of all, we have the penthouse. He's finally gotten his mother into that penthouse.
Mm-hmm.
The rub, of course, is that she is paraplegic. She's trapped inside of her own body. The one thing
I assume she wants
him,
nothing more than to sail through that fucking window.
Yeah, the one thing she told him, made him promise, do not ever do, is let me just live like that.
Mm-hmm.
You kill me. Oh yeah, promise, Ma, I promise. Oh, I fucking promise. Liar.
Yeah.
Recently, a new client called me and started by saying, Mr. Morgan, I really need your help, but I'm just a nobody. Those words stunned me, and I immediately called him back, and we're now helping him and his family after a terrible accident. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Everybody who comes to our firm at their time of need is a somebody. I grew up poor, but my grandmother was like a queen to us. At Morgan & Morgan, our goal is to level the playing field for you and your family at your time of need. The insurance company has unlimited money and resources. You need a firm who can fight them toe-to-toe. For right at 30 years, we have fought them in courtrooms throughout America. Our results speak for themselves. And always remember this, everybody is a somebody, and nobody is a nobody. Visit forthepeople.com to learn about our firm, Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
injured, visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
So she's
Didn't serve his
trapped.
purpose.
Didn't serve his purpose. But so not only is he so fucking selfish that he's got to have his mom living a life she hates, like he always has, trapped in a prison to suit his needs. He can't stand the fact that his mother is like that. So he's going to have the woman that he's been sleeping with pretending to be his mother. Because when he goes downstairs, she's talking to him in character as his mother.
Yeah.
She's wearing the dress that his mother wore when she took him, intending for Rex Calabrese to kill him at that Monroe's.
Yeah.
She's wearing his mom's dress.
Yeah. She's just actively participating in this sort of, at this point, weird cosplay situation.
Yeah.
I was wondering, because I was wondering if there was any sort of surrealistic interpretation to this, or if it does just have a weird kind of like, what, Oedipal kind of bullshit going on here.
Oh no, yeah, no, he's in love with his mother.
It's as though the show wants you to get to the end of it, and by the end of it think, gee whiz, I think this is a bad guy.
And the last he talked to his mother, he was like, she'll never look at me in the eye again. She'll never look at me again.
Yeah.
That was the last time he thought he might have a chance at talking to her, because when he gets back to her, she's full out coma. She's a vegetable.
Yeah. He's trying to celebrate.
So yeah, absolutely. And I knew they were going to pull that. I knew someone was going to be like, no one's going to be able to stop you. I thought maybe it was going to actually be his mom in the penthouse at the end, but no, it wasn't. And then it was only then though that I really noticed how much the woman he's been sleeping with looks like his mom in the face.
Yeah, that never crossed my mind. And her scene with the her scene with Sophia earlier, like she does give him up. She didn't have to.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't know how they square that.
Well, he just doesn't know,
I guess, but that doesn't seem like that seems like it has an expiration date on it, at least.
Probably, maybe. But she did that because, Cobb knew, or Oz knew that Carmine was the hangman and that he let Sophia take the rap for it all those years and didn't tell Eve and let it happen, go on for years and years and years. That's why Eve turned on him and told Sophia that, which she wanted to know.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I didn't notice until she was in the dress and dancing with them that if you look at their pictures right next to each other.
I saw it. As soon as I saw it, I flashed back, then, I got it. But no, how creepy that was crept up on me. Like,
yeah. But I knew as soon as one of them was going to say it. Somebody was going to say it. Nothing can stop you now. I knew they were going to pan out of the window of his penthouse and then the bat signal was going to hit. I knew that's how they were going to end the fucking show. Like for 4 or 5 episodes, I knew that's how they were going to end.
Yeah. But that's one of those things where like, it's like, you're not mad about it. There's poetry to that. That's perfect.
No, that had to happen.
Period at the end of the sentence, man. It's got to be there. It's great.
That was like an exclamation point with a giant bat in the center of the dot.
Yeah. That part ends beautifully. Something I liked about the overall, how the story gets told. No, I mean, not like how the story gets told, I guess. I like the stumbling trajectory of Oz's rise to power.
Uh-huh.
He fails upward at every occasion.
Yeah.
And his superpower seems to be when he's at his worst and the chips look down, he seems to be able to, when he gets a stroke of luck, pounce on it faster than I think other people would. But that comes from being someone who's that absolutely self-centered, I believe. Like, he doesn't have any baggage. All he sees is a life raft, and all that matters is getting to it. And that's all that fucking matters. Like,
yeah,
he'll work everything out on the back end, man. That's what bullshit's for. That's what he's got a mouth for at this point. That's all that matters.
Yeah, the way he rallied all of those gangs, just with a cooler full of beer.
Yeah.
And a rousing speech. And then to turn around and rally all of the second in commands to kill their bosses, Jesus Christ. That was, yeah, I loved that element of the show where like every time you think Oz is done, he's got another trick.
He does. Well, he's either got another trick or some Deus Ex Machina happens to pull him out of it. And that's where I'm saying he's truly gifted though, is he thinks on his feet when that moment happens. As soon as he gets the stroke of luck, there's no time wasted. On his way, break the chair, break out, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Hop in the car and off to his next adventure.
Yeah. It's a lot of fun.
It is. It made for a compelling story, and I love that it makes him more and more ruthless every single time it happens. Like, look at the the way he bow ties certain situations, like the way he hands over the entire situation with the Mary. God damn, what is wrong with me? Maroni's. It's like trying to make Maroni and macaroni somehow. He like the way he ties that all up for his local politician is like it's beautiful. Yeah. All this happened. All you're going to find downstairs is a body and a bunch of shrooms that was clearly a lab and an entire network, and there's the responsible party. Mm-hmm. Wonderful work. And even then, like he does it in scene, like he's fighting, and that is, by the way, a favorite scene of mine is watching him and I can't remember the fucking actor's name now, Clancy.
Clancy Brown.
Yeah, watching those two fight, I just love the end of it so much. It was an okay old man fight, but like, I just love the end of it so much. Like him dying of a heart attack, and it was come on, man, come on, like that fucking. He still got some fight into it. Like he was getting his ass handed to him for a second there. Had that old man not died, he might have gotten his ass dead. But I don't know. I really dug the moment at the end where he's just mad about not getting to finish that fight. Like that's the real story. Is he was about to get beaten. He got lucky. But by the time he gets out of that subway car, that's not what happened.
Yeah.
No one ever believed that. No one ever will believe that.
It's amazing.
It's great.
I love that so much. And yeah, I saw a few people complaining about that scene and how unrealistic it was. I'm like, no, you got an old guy trying to fight a slightly younger man.
Yeah.
He's been sitting around eating, pasta and crap, whatever he was making.
I mean, yeah, whatever he had in prison for a second. Like,
well, there was that, but then also like when he was making that food that his wife used to make.
Yeah.
And you're just like, he's got a bit of a gut, just a little bit. He looks like he's not the healthiest dude.
That's what happened.
And
see, they had him on a good, healthy regimen in prison. He got out, carbo loaded for days, and then fought a bear.
Right.
Not to mention he just lost his wife and son. The man's heart was going through some shit.
Yeah. That's
Been
all
running
fine.
A crime family for 45 years.
That's all fine. The thing I like about it, though, and yeah, it is a little unrealistic that would happen right then. It makes sense to some degree. You can justify it. It doesn't take much suspension of disbelief. But what I like about it is like how poetic it is and how much it really does show exactly who Oz is. Mm-hmm. Like, yeah, he's mad that he didn't get the opportunity to do it himself. Mm-hmm. But fuck it. I'm going to shoot this guy a bunch of times in the chest and drag his corpse out and make everyone know that I'm the one who took him down.
Yeah. You can hear it in that scene, though, him almost trying to convince himself, but it just doesn't seem to work to me.
Yeah.
Recently, a new client called me and started by saying, Mr. Morgan, I really need your help, but I'm just a nobody. Those words stunned me, and I immediately called him back, and we're now helping him and his family after a terrible accident. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Everybody who comes to our firm at their time of need is a somebody. I grew up poor, but my grandmother was like a queen to us. At Morgan & Morgan, our goal is to level the playing field for you and your family at your time of need. The insurance company has unlimited money and resources. You need a firm who can fight them toe-to-toe. For right at 30 years, we have fought them in courtrooms throughout America. Our results speak for themselves. And always remember this, everybody is a somebody, and nobody is a nobody. Visit forthepeople.com to learn about our firm, Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
Injured? Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Again, great acting. All right, so something you glossed over earlier is we should take everything I say, the entire conversation should just have as the underlying factor the entire time is, of course, Confield did an incredible fucking job. That's just like I challenged a couple of people. I was like, man, I don't know if you'll care about the series at all. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying go watch 2 minutes, any 2 minutes. Go find the trailer. I don't care. Go find 2 minutes of a scene and tell me if at the end of those 2 minutes you haven't asked yourself this question. Quote, no fucking way that's Colin Farrell.
There were a few times I saw it.
It's only in the eyes occasionally.
Yeah, absolutely. It was in the eyes.
And it's just a hint. That fucking glorious, charming, beautiful Irish man.
I believe now it was verbatim when you glossed over this. And I wouldn't have thought about it until you mentioned it, but him trying to be convincing and yelling at the corpse of Salvatore.
Yeah.
What he says is exactly what he screamed at Batman in the Batman when he overturned the Batmobile or whatever, or not overturn the Batmobile, when he thought he had lost him or whatever, and there was that big explosion, and he's like, I got you! Yeah. I got you!
Yeah, you're right.
And then Batman comes flying over the flames.
And I don't got you. Like, yeah, no, you're right.
It was almost verbatim, if not verbatim.
I think it might be verbatim for a second there.
Same tone and everything. Yeah. So much so that I almost expected Salvatore to jump up. I thought it was a fake out for a second. I thought that was like them cluing me in that this is not what's actually happening.
Yeah.
But this time it was, so.
No, it's just going to be his calling card when he kills someone really special. Just yelling, I got you at him. I guess if it's a loud enough death.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like one of the reasons I didn't watch The Penguin immediately is because I did want to go back and watch The Batman because it had been too long. And I wanted to refresh myself on that. And I was glad I did ultimately because of little things like that.
Yeah, I think I would have been better about it. It's been like 2 years. I felt like I understood enough about it. But yeah, I didn't catch that. So it probably would have been better.
There was like, little bits where he's like, you see the new mayor elect with her sling and just like little bits with like the Riddler flooding the city and whatnot. Like, just little like snippets that I was like, oh yeah, okay.
Well, let's put it this way. It had been long enough that I didn't mind the recap at the beginning of the series.
Right. Yeah.
I didn't mind them giving me like a clear and definitive, here's where we are in the story.
Uh-huh.
Which didn't hurt for me just to refresh my memory, but also was very important in telling us where in the story it was. Was it pre or post or what?
Yeah. Which, I mean, you should have known because I think there was like a solid 3 or 4 weeks in a row where I told you on the show.
I know.
It happens the week after the Batman.
I'm aware. I just mean if you just tuned into the show and were wondering where this lies. It was a good way for them to frame themselves. That's all I was saying.
Yeah. Yeah. And they did a good job with flashbacks and stuff. And they did a good job all across the board. I was slightly bored from time to time, but I don't blame the show. I blame my brain.
Yeah. I agree. I mean, not that I blame you, that I join you. It was a dense show and I did have to make space for it. So as long as I was ready to make space for it, I really enjoyed every second of what I saw, to be honest, and really kind of didn't have any notes. I thought it was fantastic.
Yeah.
I think the only thing that was a flaw for me was just wanting to pull myself out occasionally. So that's on me. That's a viewership problem.
Yeah. I almost pissed myself laughing when he was trying to get away from those dudes and he ran into that like crowd of people wearing, holding black umbrellas. And it was just like the Penguin waddling into a crowd full of umbrellas and he doesn't have one. It just made me laugh.
I didn't catch that, but that's good.
Did you notice that his girlfriend Eve, her like light fixture above her dining room table looked like an umbrella?
Mm-mm.
There are umbrellas all over this damn set design. If you go back, there's like lots of like umbrellas and shit.
I mean, really about the only iconography, I guess, maybe, kind of thing I saw was like the car. I mean, his Plum vehicle, whatever brand he could afford at the time.
Uh-huh. Did you Now, this was all over the internet. I saw this before I ever even watched the show, but I agreed with it. In the town hall or whatever it was, the curtains, the way that they were folded and cut, it just looked like the whole room was covered in owls. They were in the shape of owls.
I didn't see, but that is cool.
I feel like it's more insinuations of the Court of Owls, is what my guess would be. And a lot of people were guessing that. I'm not the first. I'm not, incredibly bright or anything. I'm sending you a picture of it, though, so you know exactly what I mean.
I appreciate the heads up to mute my phone. Arguably should have been done long ago this evening.
Yeah, that was a good few hours ago.
I mean, okay, I see. I see. And okay.
I mean, yeah.
Although it looks like skulls on the far right when you fade back a little bit.
No, I don't see skulls. I don't know. I just see the owls. I see owls in the curtains. Like the actual shape of the curtains are owls.
I do get it. I also just sort of, I don't know. I'm not at all interested or thrilled by the idea of Court of Owls in this storyline.
I'm not either.
It's not a storyline you tell first. That's my opening argument for against it. It's not one you do first. It makes no sense unless what you're doing is shaking the bedrock of what Batman has been doing for some time.
Right.
You pull this out up front, it's just flips the whole thing on its ass.
Here's my thing, though. Like, I'm still thinking of this in terms of a trilogy, but we're going to get more than a trilogy if they keep going. Because you could say, like, oh, Batman 2, Batman 3. Okay, fine. But how many shows are going to be in the middle of that?
I know. And these things are taking time to do for a variety of reasons. So I have no reason to think it would take any more time, but it's been a minute. People have aged. I don't know how long people want to do these things. Like there's plenty to play with. Of course there is. Go for it if you want to, but like, I would think you have to move faster.
Yeah. I don't know.
All the press keeps telling me that Pattinson's a, particularly fluttery person anyway. He just might decide to, I don't believe any of this is actually true. Just the press tries to paint him as like, oh, he won't even go to the gym. Like, if they're telling it right, he might just decide to fuck off anyway.
Did you hear what he said the other day? He said by the time they get around to finishing the trilogy, he might be ready to retire.
Yeah.
But you know what? There was something about that made me really happy, because I did think about it. It was like, no, if they do like, a Catwoman show, if they do, the Penguin Part 2 or some other TV series in between, if they find a few other things to do here and there, they could drag it out and really do substantial storytelling over an arc of years.
Yeah.
Like by the time we get to Batman Part 2, he might be in year 5 or 6 of his mission. By the time we're done, he might be 15, 20 years in. And I'm not mad at that.
No.
I think that would be really cool. We could do people could bitch, but because they're babies, they're fucking entitled babies who want everything right now. But like, how fucking cool would it be if we Richard Linklatered that shit?
Just piece it together with an occasional Batman movie.
Yeah, like every 5 to 9 years, let's do another Pattinson Batman movie and see where he is now. That would be the fucking coolest thing I could think of for them to do. And it would be perfect because it's an Elseworlds.
Yeah, it would work.
Where's the people? It's so funny. Like people online are like, oh, this is DC's biggest problem. They wait too long. No, that's not their biggest problem. That's far from their biggest problem. But if they did this on purpose, people aren't just going to like forget. If anything, we've seen that people don't just forget whatever Batman they like. Like people are harping on their, people are still going, oh, there's never going to be a better Batman than Michael Keaton. Oh, okay, buddy.
Yeah.
Well, it's not 1989 anymore, and it's not 1992 anymore, and The Flash proved that shit.
Yeah.
But
the guy who's saying about 1999, is dead.
Well, yeah, and he was also in 1989. He did a whole soundtrack for that movie. So I'm just saying, like, people are still, 10 years in complaining that, Cavill didn't get enough, or he was, the best thing that ever happened. I think Robert Pattinson's Batman can withstand a little time away from the screen.
Recently, a new client called me and started by saying, "Mr. Morgan, I really need your help, but I'm just a nobody." Those words stunned me, and I immediately called him back, and we're now helping him and his family after a terrible accident. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Everybody who comes to our firm at their time of need is a somebody. I grew up poor, but my grandmother was like a queen to us. At Morgan & Morgan, our goal is to level the playing field for you and your family at your time of need. The insurance company has unlimited money and resources. You need a firm who can fight them toe-to-toe. For right at 30 years, we have fought them in courtrooms throughout America. Our results speak for themselves. And always remember this: everybody is a somebody, and nobody is a nobody. Visit forthepeople.com to learn about our firm, Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
Injured? Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
Especially if it's well done.
Yeah, I think
if it comes back and it makes sense, and they're not trying to make it like it happened, here's a week later. Okay. It worked on the Penguin.
That is always a fun technique to pull out. Like, it's been, 4 years in development. The first title card for the movie reads 4 weeks later.
Yeah.
All right.
A week later. Yeah. I was okay. I didn't feel like I was being misled. It felt like a week later.
Yeah. Yeah.
As long as they can pull it off. And I mean, Penguin is nothing but prosthetics. We've seen, and they recast one guy because he decided it's too violent to once again play a character who didn't do anything on screen.
Yeah.
Like, the way John Turturro was talking about it made me think that, like, there was going to be like some real hardcore misogynistic brutality in this show. And then it just wasn't. It just wasn't. His character didn't do any. His character did more in the Batman.
I mean, yes and no. I think he was just kind of, I guess he was more cartoonish and like a heady version of himself. Like, you couldn't tell a thick backstory of the granular nature of how shitty he is. I guess Turturro didn't want to have his face tell that story.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like
it was one of the most annoying parts for me personally watching it.
Yes. But having watched the Batman right before this, he was more violent. He on screen, physically, more violent than he ever was in The Penguin.
Oh, that's good. I genuinely don't remember what he did in the movie that was that violent anyway.
I mean, he was straight up choking out Selena.
He was going to kill her. That is true.
Yeah, he did more violence towards women in his role than the character in The Penguin, for sure.
Yeah.
So I think he's full of shit. Because the showrunners of Penguin were like, I don't know, we heard he had like a, what was it, a scheduling conflict.
Mm.
But then, like, in the press, he wants to say some other shit. Like, I don't know. I don't believe you, John Turturro. Go make another Coen Brothers movie. I'm good.
Go be excellent at your job somewhere else.
Go ham it up in another Transformers movie, John.
Oh, he was divine in those. The only actual acting that happened for 5 years, or however long it was.
He was fine. He was good. I like John Turturro as an actor.
He is great.
But much like Jim Carrey with his bullshit kick-ass thing, where he's like, don't go see this movie. I didn't realize how much violence was in it. Yeah, you did. What are you talking about?
I don't. There are times where I think I'd understand, and other times where I want to be like, man, you had the script in your hand. I don't know what you didn't catch.
I don't get it. You mentioned them playing that Nirvana song. Oh, it's a Lead Belly song. In The Penguin. I was pleased that they played A Forest by The Cure. When they were, I believe it was when they were doing the, when he was revisiting the sewers. when he's like looking around, he finds the coin and remembers the sewers. He's like, that'll be my new base of operations. And he and Vic go down to the sewers. Yeah. Like I heard the music starting. I'm like, I know this. What is this? I know this.
Gotcha.
It's The Cure. That's some good music in this.
I feel you. I do love it. I mean, it is so much fun when one of those sneaks in too, where you just you hear it and you think there's no way it's going to be that song.
Yeah. Whoever was doing the version of the Leadbelly song, I was like, I know this. Do I know this? Yeah, I think I know this, but I don't know this version of this. Like I had a little struggle with The Cure. I was just like, yes. What is it? I know it.
I mean, yeah, the cover you were hearing is not really all that similar to the versions you're used to at all. With the second one, The Cure was pretty much straightforwardly The Cure song. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, I didn't mention Emily Mead did a fantastic job casting young Mama Cobb, and I thought she did a fantastic job of playing that character.
Yeah, agreed.
And it was another one of those situations where I was like sitting there going like, how do I know you? I know you from something. And that answer is The Leftovers.
Oh yeah.
Emily Mead was fantastic in The Leftovers.
No, I don't know her from that. I just, every time I hear The Leftovers, I go, oh, I meant to watch that.
It is good. It's 3 seasons. It's 30 episodes.
And I've never been told anything other than you'll enjoy it.
Now,
and please watch it. And I just never get around to it.
I know. Look, man, I'll say this. I know you are plowing through CW shows right now. At times like this, in times of great distress, sometimes a man needs to step back and take stock of their life, or maybe just, a breather, cleanse the palate with something top-notch quality. I have to say, The Leftovers is a really good choice to slip in there.
That's fair.
Just 30 episodes of weird fucking goodness. Like cinematic oddity.
Yeah. I have my current background is Bob's Burgers and by extension Great North, where I've just needed to experience some, I don't know, like a comfort show or a sense of sanity, something where I know the rules and it's okay. Where everybody knows your name, so to speak, kind of thing.
Fair enough. Yeah, that is. If you're looking for comfort, The Leftovers is not what you need to do.
No, but like watching, like binging a CW show is, it's a tumultuous kind of act because it can be light, it can be dark. You don't know what they're going to try to get you into. Front or back half of the episode could do something. Some of the stuff could be weirdly, like you can get dragged in 2 directions too, as a viewer. Like you can get pulled out in the sense that like you may catch yourself, pulling full tears here for a second. Oh my God, I did not expect to be like throwing this on my, maybe you're watching on your phone in the background or something and didn't expect to be completely consumed and just watching the phone 3 inches in front of your face. But you might also want to throw that phone because the scene you just watched was so bad you can't believe anyone ever made it, and that other people watched it, and that no one told you before that it would be this bad. Like,
because of this diatribe, I'm in my head screaming, "And you may catch yourself living in a shotgun shack, and you may catch yourself in another part of the world."
Yeah,
and the days go by. Help.
I get it though.
All right, what else we got on the Penguin?
Fault, I'm sure.
No, that was talking.
No,
talking.
Got
heads.
you in the right playlist though.
Maybe.
I have those two.
I don't really see them very similar, but
I throw them in there. There's
80s.
Yeah, there's my the part of the 80s I actually liked playlist.
Fair enough. Yeah, I don't know what else to say about the Penguin though.
I didn't either. I don't think I did. Like, I think that covered the lot of it.
Yeah.
It was a good run. It took some real breathing room to get in and out of. Had to compress to watch one and decompress to get out of it, but it was worth it.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
Don't watch this show before going to bed. If you
Or do.
or do, and
might
again,
tire
don't
you
watch
out.
this show to start your day. Or do.
Or do. You know, there
You
is
can choose violence,
something to be
that's
said. Yeah. For certain people, that could be real, like, you know, it could be like the morning cup of joe, you know? You're like, oh, God, there is a way forward. You know, I was just thinking, I don't know how I'm going to fucking deal with this day. But then I saw how Oz turned that shit around.
Life is just falling in on itself, and I don't even know how I'm going to make it to work without. But I watched how he bullshitted himself into a crime boss. I feel inspired.
No one is innocent on this show.
No.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, a cast of, well, yeah, I don't think there's a redeemable soul the entire thing. There was one who was close.
Vic?
He was close.
He was close.
Recently, a new client called me and started by saying, Mr. Morgan, I really need your help, but I'm just a nobody. Those words stunned me, and I immediately called him back, and we're now helping him and his family after a terrible accident. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Everybody who comes to our firm at their time of need is a somebody. I grew up poor, but my grandmother was like a queen to us. At Morgan & Morgan, our goal is to level the playing field for you and your family at your time of need. The insurance company has unlimited money and resources. You need a firm who can fight them toe-to-toe. For right at 30 years, we have fought them in courtrooms throughout America. Our results speak for themselves. And always remember this, everybody is a somebody, and nobody is a nobody. Visit forthepeople.com to learn about our firm. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
Injured? Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.
But I feel like So I know you haven't watched Breaking Bad or all of it, but there's a bit in you know, everyone always with Breaking Bad, everyone always has this question of, you know, when did Walt cross the line? When did he hit the point of no return?
Right.
And lots of people have lots of different, you know,
Interpretation.
Answers for that. And I feel like I'm the only one who's ever said, I think it was like episode 3 or 4. It's early days. It may not be, it may have been a little on, but like we find out that, you know, Walt has a past with these people, and basically he was in love with this woman and she chose the other dude, and he just fucking got mad and like noped out of the whole thing, and it would have made him a fucking billionaire if he had just been like, oh yeah, well that's fine, she can choose whoever she wants, but fine, we get it, he's sad and doesn't want to watch them be down with each other all the time.
Yeah,
I get that. But when they find out that he has cancer and they want to give him the money, they want to give him money for his contributions and then bring him on and say like, well, you can work if that's your problem. You can work with us and all that stuff. They're going to give him another chance to work at the company and have shit tons of money. And he turns them down out of pride.
Yeah.
To me, that is Walt's point of no return.
The rest of the show can be derived from that shitty decision.
Well, I mean, it's not even just a shitty decision. It is just like he is choosing this pride over his family. And the whole time, he's like, I'm doing this for my family. I'm doing this for my family. No, you're not.
No, you had someone offer you a bag of money.
And a clean bag of money.
Yeah.
At that.
Like,
a bag of money that he actually earned. Mm-hmm. Like, so to me,
I probably saw that episode because I did see like 2 seasons, but I'd forgotten about that entirely. You're right, it does flavor the entire rest of the show.
Yeah, so when you look at Vic, he had an early out. He had a few.
I know, he's not innocent. I just think he's at the closest.
Yeah, he might be the closest, but you know, he definitely
he made his choices.
Like the definitive out, of course, was the train station. Like, yeah, he could have disappeared. When Oz gave him the chunk of cash, he could have disappeared, you know, and then he had the train station or the bus station was definitely the cemented.
Yeah. When he actually,
you are a fool, get the fuck out. moment.
I mean, even his first body, I didn't blame him for killing the guy.
I didn't blame him for killing Squid. Squid was the problem.
Yeah, that had to happen. But
that was a get or get got kind of situation.
I'm willing to forgo that one. But yeah, like showing back up at the thing, or hell, like half masterminding the underdog revolution is yeah, that's on him. But it could have been interesting to see him go full Breaking Bad, like to see him fully corrupted over the years. But no such luck for poor Victor.
Yeah, it wasn't his story. Mm-hmm. Wasn't his name on the title.
Mm-hmm. And he simply cannot go with us on this one.
Mm-hmm. Yep. He should have been more like his last comic book role. He should have been a runaway.
That's the spirit.
Did you ever see Runaways?
I watched one season.
It's all right.
Hated it.
Yeah, I mean, it's not good.
I mean, it's one of the few superhero shows that have been on the last decade or so that I hated it. But
you know,
I'm still mad about how much I didn't like that show sometimes.
Wow.
I'd have to go back and revive some of the feelings, but there's deep anger there.
I don't remember hating it. I just remember by season 3, I just didn't care anymore, and I never finished it.
That I'd have to refresh myself on why it's there, but there's a very deep well of anger I can tell.
I was a huge fan of the comic.
Feels mostly playful. Yeah, it seems like there's plenty of setup on the characters that would have been fun, but
the comic was so good. Like Brian K. Vaughan just like killed that shit, and then Joss Whedon came in and did a fantastic run on it. It was a really good comic.
No, it had a lot of potential. Show did not work for me.
It wasn't great for me. It was okay in the first season, kind of markedly lower than okay in season 2. I just didn't care enough to watch season 3. And then like I found out they were doing crossovers with fucking Cloak and Dagger, and my wife did watch that show and talked shit about it constantly. She did not like Cloak and Dagger. It was like Marvel's version of CWDC.
It was, and I watched that happily compared for a reading if you want one.
Yeah. See, I don't ever know who to believe between you and my wife, because,
and then we both sometimes end up in some bullshit.
Yeah, both of you be like, "Hey, check this out." And I'm like,
"No, fuck all y'all. What the hell's wrong with you?
Terrible. What are y'all doing?" No, but like, yeah, sometimes you'll be like, "Hey, yeah, this is really good," and she's like, "This is terrible," or vice versa. And I'm just like, I don't ever know how to interpret that for me. Basically, I'm like, maybe I've got some pretty good opinion holders here.
Have a well of experience of what to expect out of us, at least on what we might think of one thing and why. But yeah, it's hard to know, and especially when we'll occasionally really will throw you a complete monkey wrench and just both like something that is kind of in some ways objectively not good.
And so yeah, it's always weird though when y'all both like a thing that I'm not gonna like. Y'all both like the things for completely different reasons, and I usually hate them for all of those reasons. It's just like, what were y'all thinking? This is terrible.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Hopefully, they go ahead and fast track this Batman Part 2 so people can stop bitching. It needs to get underway.
I mean, the bitching. They
don't have the
bitching.
They don't have the
quiet while nothing happens, because it's going to happen that way. But
they don't have the luxury of using the Penguin as an excuse anymore. He's not working on the Penguin. Get that script finished up, man. Come on. Yeah. Meanwhile, I'm going to stop worrying about it and be really excited about Superman. And we'll be back hopefully sometime soon over the weekend, because Thursday we're getting the Superman teaser trailer.
Yeah.
This is what James has said now, so
the date is here, and and if you haven't seen it, go look at the little picture. It's fantastic.
Yeah, man.
Just go find him on
a little picture,
Threads or Blue Sky or whatever you're using.
Yeah.
At this point,
they have
there's no predictable way to find people.
Little motion poster, and then they also have like a little teaser for the teaser trailer that looks like machinery whirring around and the giant Superman symbol in it. I don't know. It looks cool. But the thing to listen for is the score, because what this music is, it really is like, it's like a cross between Hans Zimmer and John Williams, because it's definitely got the John Williams theme at places. Mm-hmm. It's exciting. Anyway, we'll see you then. Until then, keep some DC on your screen. Love you.
Bye.
Recently, a new client called me and started by saying, Mr. Morgan, I really need your help, but I'm just a nobody. Those words stunned me, and I immediately called him back, and we're now helping him and his family after a terrible accident. I'm John Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Everybody who comes to our firm at their time of need is a somebody. I grew up poor, but my grandmother was like a queen to us. At Morgan & Morgan, our goal is to level the playing field for you and your family at your time of need. The insurance company has unlimited money and resources. You need a firm who can fight them toe-to-toe. For right at 30 years, we have fought them in courtrooms throughout America. Our results speak for themselves. And always remember this, everybody is a somebody, and nobody is a nobody. Visit forthepeople.com to learn about our firm. Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
Injured? Visit forthepeople.com for an office near you.